helicopter on there.
And away we go.
Absolutely. This is open mode, which means we get to forego the opening scene where we're going to go check Uncle. GTG is checking over in the Sanctuary to start off with. Meanwhile, Arior and Shireen and ACM are all starting out in Link's house. Piece of heart there, but a full heart container in the Sanctuary.
ACM taking a slightly different path, actually going all the way down to Kakariko. Looks like we're going to get a trip up through the bottom here.
Yeah, this is interesting because these bushes have a 50% chance of having a bomb in them. So ACM already rewarded with having a couple bombs to start off with there. That'll get things really rolling in Kakariko pretty quickly.
Sure looks to be the case.
But speaking of bombs, Arior did just find a pack of 3 bombs that are located in not Uncle, but right next to Uncle there in the first part of the escape sequence. Now, one of the programming changes that happened for this version 30, it eliminated all of the bomb and arrow upgrades and replaced them with just straight bombs and arrows. Now, you can still get the bomb and arrow upgrades the vanilla way by throwing a bunch of money into a wishing well and the light side world of where the Ice Palace is. But that does mean there's a lot more bombs that are out there in the world, so if you're hoping to get some early bomb action, there's a higher likelihood of that happening than before. And GTG just showing us a map check. Looks like crystals in Hera and Desert, and some pendant. I don't think it was the green pendant over in Eastern.
Absolutely. I don't think that was green pendant either. Just trying to catch that real quick here.
ACM does also find a bottle in the chicken hut, and Arior, with the early plays, finds the hammer in the back of Sahasrara's hut. That's a gutsy play this early, avoiding Kakariko initially, rewarded with the hammer.
Absolutely, that's a good play here. Especially early in the scene, we've got some cape action going on. We got the hammer showing, the mushroom showing up. So, boy, oh boy, we got a lot of choice here for where runners are going to go, and it looks like they're all going to converge in Kakariko, though.
Well, that makes sense. Kakariko is the early locations with it's very dense, lots of items that you can possibly get. ACM is doing a little bit of bomb farming right now, so he does not necessarily want to spend his rupees on purchasing bombs if he can avoid it. So he does have 8 bombs he's going to be able to work through here now. Shireen's going to show us what's in Blind's basement.
Just the heart to start with, and 50 rupees. 20 more. And 20 more. Okay, so a lot of love and a whole lot of money.
All right, and ACM in the well, more money, and even more money. Show me the money.
Playing Robin Hood here in Kakariko, taking all this money away from all these people.
So this is an eat the rich seed. It's just take all the money from everyone in Kakariko, the 1%.
Absolutely. They don't need it anyways. They're not saving the world.
I mean, we've already also had 2 bottles, so that pretty clearly pointed towards going to Sitkid, and he did give us the cape. Early cape does give us at least some direction that it might be an Aghanim required seed, but we're still going to need at least a sword to get through there.
Yes, indeed. I kind of am wondering if we'll see some more interesting plays here from Arior. Of course, Bombo's showing up there on the bottle vendor, but he's the only one that's went to Sahasrara's hut to get that. And that's going to open up a couple of extra locations here early on that our runners won't otherwise have access to until they go over there.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see what our runners end up doing after Kakariko. ACM looks like he is running back and going to be checking the North Woods area. The problem with early hammer, well, it's a nice weapon and you can absolutely kill stuff with it. In this early portion of the game, it doesn't necessarily unlock anything on its own. So while it's a nice play for Aerior and it's nice to get at least something out of the way, unless our other runners avoid it, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference right now. We did see that vanilla mushroom now on ACMs in the forest. So, Nihon, where do you go from here? If you're these runners, do you kind of follow the standard south route? Do you make a play into Eastern Palace?
I think south route. I think south route right now. Maybe see if you can pull something out of the mini Moldorm cave. See if there's anything there. Go ahead and check the dam here. So ACMLM is going to be doing it. It looks like. And yeah, I like this play. Go ahead and drain out the little lake here. See if there's anything down there that's hiding. Maybe there's something hiding out in this chest. Guess we'll see. Oh, the boomerang. Okay. Well, probably not what you wanted to find, but still, it's an item.
I mean, it is the superior boomerang, so of course you're going to want to do that. And Shireen looks like going to be following ACM right in the same spot. GTG looks to be immediately turning in this mushroom, which might have some value for us. So we'll see what becomes of that.
It's not every day you get to see a vanilla mushroom spot, though.
It's true. Does vanilla mushroom lead to vanilla powder?
It does not.
Nope. And we did see an immediate save and quit. He did, or a hard reset, so he is keeping his mushroom, actually. Going to hope to save it for something else. And ACM finds our Moon Pearl. So, and a book.
Yep. So, that's at least go ahead and poke inside Desert Palace. Now, you can do that. May not find anything, especially if it's boots locked, or it's certainly not completable without a fire source and a sword. No, with the hammer they can do it. Maybe not. No way, no.
Well, and here's the interesting thing: you need a glove in order to be able to clear it.
Yes.
But if you have a glove, now you have Dark World access. So do you make that risk and go that route or not?
You know, that's a great question. I'm not entirely sure one way or another.
It is worth noting with that Moon Pearl, the fake flipper glitch does become that much more valuable because we can go up here, do the fake flipper with the Moon Pearl, and check these 2 Waterfall of Wishing treasure chests. Now, they weren't anything terribly important. It was a shield and just some more money, but we do have the money for a Zora check to be completed now. This is a bit of a sequence break right now. So whatever he finds here will be out of sequence, technically, but it could lend itself to some interesting knowledge. Man, those mini Moldorms are just trolling Aerior.
Oh, and it takes death. So now the fun begins. It looks like ACM is going to make that decision, be the first one to go into Eastern Palace here. Going to get the hammer as well from the Sahasrah's hut.
Well, that's the only thing that we really haven't checked. I mean, the 2 options right now, and neither of them are particularly great because we can't clear any of them. Eastern Palace or Desert Palace. Desert has 2 items in Desert proper, 1 item on the Desert Ledge, and then 1 item over in Agina's Cave, so a possible 4 total items. although you may not be able to access a couple of them depending on the layout of Desert Palace. Eastern, meanwhile, you're pretty well. There's 3 items there. It kind of has a similar setup, but guaranteed more access to more treasure chests itself. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's always a very interesting choice to make here.
Oh, and Burn the Witch in chat pointing out, we also completely forgot because it's open mode.
Oh
We haven't
yeah,
done the escape sequence yet.
nobody's made the risk to try and do it in the dark there. So yeah, there could be some stuff back there. But again, we're gonna need to find a lift upgrade to get back there.
Well, you can do the front part of escape.
Oh yeah, you could take the long way.
Well, we need to dip down into and get those treasures on your way down to Zelda anyway. And those are all in Whiteroof, so you have a hammer as a weapon. It might behoove us to head that way before too long.
Yeah, that's a good point here. But I suspect we'll see ACM go ahead and open up these front chests and then kind of get an idea. Okay, based on what's here, do I need to actually go around and do anything else? There's the key.
Oh, and all of our runners have done fake flipper of some sort at some point. It's interesting how often fake flipper is happening, but that is technically a logic break right now that they are allowed to do, but has not really benefited them in any capacity, has it?
No, I don't think it has. We haven't really gotten anything from seeing anybody go ahead and do a fake flipper. It's just been a bunch of trash.
And so ACM is working his way here through Eastern Palace, and oh my, there's a lamp.
Well, what do we have here, Mr. Lamp?
Oh, and here's a new hint system that is in there. On these Sahasrara tiles, you can talk to it, and it will give you a hint. Sometimes the hint's good, sometimes it's horrible. That hint said it requires cash for the boots.
So that does tend to limit down where it can be if the boots are going to be required here.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so cash for boots. Let's see. You need cash to open up Palace of Darkness, so that's a possibility. We've already seen what Zora's in. You do need cash to buy the big bomb, so boots might even be in the Pyramid Fairy area.
That's a possibility. Could be the chess game in Village of Outcasts as well. That requires money to be able to play the game, and the digging game also requires a little bit of dough to make that happen. We've already seen the bottle vendor as well. We know that is Bombos.
Okay, no, some boots required to get cash. I read that wrong. Okay.
Oh, I missed it. So I was trusting you. I trusted you so much.
Yeah, everyone should know. Don't trust me. What?
Okay.
But thank you, chat, for pointing that out. So we got that flipped, which means that at least one of our boot spots locations will have only cash in it. And is that really a surprise?
Not really, no. So one of the boots locations is junk.
All right, and just some arrows on the desert ledge. ACM is going to be the first one into desert. He does have the lamp, so if he gets a lift upgrade here, do you go ahead and just say, yeah, it's a crystal, I'm going to go ahead and just knock this out while I'm here?
As well. Hey, why not? You're here. Let's get it done and over with. Don't want to have to come back here and waste like another minute or two trying to set all this stuff up to get to the back. Or if it happens to be a situation where you don't have Dark World access and you have to come back here anyways to go in the back to get something, yeah, you don't want to really have to worry about that.
It is interesting, though, to see the lamp where it was in Eastern Palace. It's any dungeon that has dark rooms in it and you find the lamp inside it itself is always a little bit interesting.
And of course, we got another another hint check there from ACMLM. Just a moment. I think GTGs might be doing it at the same time. But it was that a piece of heart is underwater. So, yeah, that's super helpful.
Piece of heart is under. We've already seen that a couple times.
Yeah. So it's probably referring to one of those two. And Vince in chat pointing out that we've already seen the Big 20 is up on the library shelf. So that may be the answer to our hint. And there's the sword. Yo.
Hey, first sword in the escape sequence area with that check. First one to do it. We have a not Bootslock Desert Palace as well. There's 10 bombs here on this. We'll wait to see this next item. Is it not? More bombs.
It is more bombs. Hooray.
Hey, bombs.
So I believe that means we have only the map left to be found on Lanmolas?
Absolutely. And GTG has not gone and checked Eastern Palace yet, so his weapon is those bombs itself. So he's struggling a little bit here. Meanwhile, Arior has a sword and the hammer. Shireen has the hammer. We'll soon get the sword. ACM at least has the hammer. Has not done the escape sequence yet. And Agina, what do you have for us? Piece of heart. Worth pointing out.
I was gonna say, there's the fire rod showing up in Zelda's chests, and we're getting a death warp here from Aerie to go and check back out.
So let's refresh our meta knowledge that we have here. We have a sword, we have the lamp, we have the cape to get past the barrier. If it's not in the back of the escape sequence, which is where Arior is heading right now, this is going to be an Aghanim required seed.
And I think that's going to put ACM with a little bit of an advantage here. He's got the lamp and he's got the cape right now. Now Shireen also will have all three of them, it looks like. So it looks like ACMLM and Shireen will be kind of in the, if it's Aga required, they'll be in the catbird seat, so to speak, right now. And Aries just going to have to go get that lamp.
Well, and Arior, with his early check over there into Eastern, you get the impression that he is banking on nothing being in Eastern proper, that he was able to get the value in the hammer and then leave. GTG, now with the hammer, is very happy to see that, but will be picking up his lamp as well, and then realizing slowly, is this an Aga seed?
Oh, Aerie, be careful. It's got one heart. Trying to find that key rat.
Yeah, in these dark rooms. Yeah, he got it.
He's at half. I'm not entirely sure why he was using the hammer there. Maybe he does the thing I do every once in a while and forgets he's got the sword.
That's possible. And in the back is a piece of heart, a third bottle, and the map. So I believe it is now absolutely confirmed this is an Aghanim required seed.
Yes, indeed. Our runners are not going to be too happy to find that out.
And I think Shireen and Arior are both going to be cashing in that book check, with GTG and ACM having already been over there into the desert area. They're hoping beyond all hope that they don't have to waste their time over in that area. Arior in particular he's avoided it going back into Eastern, so he's even lampless at the moment. Now, it's a very important thing to know in a race of this size, I mean, this is a massive 96-person race. I think was our final total of everyone who has entered in this particular qualifier race. Someone is going to be making an early call into AGA. So someone is doing something very right. But it's not necessarily about being the first in this race. It's about running a clean race. You don't necessarily have to be first. You just don't want to make bad decisions later, which is why these runners are probably playing things safe before doing an AGA check, because that would be just pure time loss there.
Absolutely. That's definitely going to be a situation where you don't want to find yourself.
And I do believe that you are going to be right. I think ACM is going to be the first one over into AGA, although GTG is heading up that way too. Oh, he doesn't
have the lamp or a sword yet. We'll get the sword here probably, but lamp will still be kind of missing in action until he goes over to Eastern Palace.
Tobble Talk. What was on Lumberjack Ledge? We don't know. I don't think anyone checked it.
Nope, nobody's checked it.
At least no one on this stream is. Remember, with all the runners that are going on, you can even go over and check. Again, over on ALTTP Randomizer 1, the same race is going on between 4 other runners. We don't want to know what's going on over there, but if you guys want to know what's going on over there, just multi-twitch all the rando all the time. So yeah, ACM is now making the play up Aga's Tower. You're never happy about having to do Aga, but once you know that it's a required Aga seed, you maybe don't feel so bad about it. You're like, okay, everyone hates this. It's okay. Oh, Arier just showed us something very interesting. The stun prize is a single bomb. It's worth noting that everything in this randomizer is randomized. In the original Link to the Past game, when you stun an enemy, it would always give you the same prize. It would always give you a single heart. So you stun it, kill it, it gives you a single heart. Because they randomized the prize packs, it means the stun prize is also randomized. And in this case, we should never have to ever buy bombs, because we can just stun a bunch of enemies and get free bombs.
Absolutely, but not all of our runners know that, so very interesting. See if that's going to be somewhat beneficial knowledge here in the future. Probably not. I'm sure most of our runners will just end up with a whole bunch of bombs and won't know what to deal with them anyways, but...
Oh, that was some interesting knowledge that ACM did pick up. The boots require the hammer.
Huh.
Now, given that we have the hammer, that probably isn't saying a whole lot, but that does make for some interesting guesses in terms of what we might have here.
Indeed it does, and that kind of gives us also an idea of where the boots could be. There's a number of locations, a number of dungeons that require hammer access, so could be behind almost any of those locations even. Could even be in Hammerpeg Cave. Ooh.
Hammerpeg Cave, I mean, most of Swamp Palace, all of Turtle Rock.
I like the vagueness of these clues. It kind of keeps you on your toes. And hey, here's Aga.
Here is Aga. So let's count. Again, it's going to be a static fight for all of them. How many blue balls are we going to get from Aga? It can be quite high. There's a 50% chance after every not first time cycle. And no blue balls as of yet.
You're going to curse it. We're going to get like a whole bunch from now. Just because you said, no, we're not getting any blue balls. The game's like, oh, I will show them. I'll show them. Who's boss?
Blue balls are for chumps anyway. Okay, there's one, at very least. Yeah, I absolutely think it's 3 in a row now. And Shireen looks like he will be on his way to Aga now. All right, so ACM completes his check, and what do we have? Just some bombs up on the pyramid. So we are in kind of this first part of the Dark World. We have our Dark World access now. It opens up quite a bit for us. We can do Palace of Darkness. We can kind of run a south route here and check Hype Cave and some other locations, and it does look like that's where ACM is going right now.
Yep. Let's see where ACM goes here. We know he's going to the south. Let's see specifically where does he go. Is it just going to be a Hype Cave? Yes, it's a Hype Cave check. Okay.
It is going to be Hype Cave. So get your guesses, chat. What are we going to have? Is it going to be a hype? Is it going to be a dud? It's the cave of yet to be determined value.
ACM was so excited about that he missed the first ball throw and had to do a second one. No. Oh, there it is.
Oh, first glove upgrade. Okay, that's hype. That's sufficient hype. More like about time cave. Anyone catch the other pendants? I did see there was a pendant in Palace of Darkness, and I believe on Turtle Rock, with the green pendant being on Palace of Darkness. Meanwhile, 3 of our other runners are already in, so ACM has a bit of an advantage in this straight line positioning. He did do his checks very efficiently. Doing this south route, he's got the digging game now going to be coming up.
Just gotta pay a little bit of money. Remember we thought a while ago this was actually where the boots might be, and then we're like, oh, we just read the clue backwards.
It's like, oh, and we were wrong. Thank you.
And it's a fire shield anyways. Theory denied. Well, I should say shield upgrade to be more specific.
This is true. In fact, our first shield is actually out of logic right now because it requires the flippers to get to it. So that would have been our first shield. Meanwhile, the save and quit from ACM with those gloves. Yeah, he's going to be making the play. I don't know. Oh, he's coming over here to the west side of the Dark World, so he's going to be in the Village of Outcasts, Thieves Town area with that fire rod as well, which means the wonderful Skull Woods play is absolutely on the table and completable.
Not gonna get a pedestal check there, ACM? Come on, you get the book. Go on up there. Just go on up there. Come on. Oh.
No, he doesn't want to. Read there, Jerdesheim says in chat, the runners may be dissuaded from going over to Desert simply because they want to do it with a Meyer check. And at this point in time, they would be smart to, because there are only 2 items in Desert Palace, and we found them both. So anything that they get, I mean, there's literally nothing else that they could possibly get from Desert, meaning putting it off towards the end until they get Mire access is absolutely fine. Not going to penalize them in any capacity.
Yeah, it's gonna be just fine. We'll probably see him go Mire, Desert Palace back to back. Just because of the fact too, I would assume it. Well, of course, if we have to go, since we're going to Mire, we have to have the flute. So you go to Light World Flute where we need to go after that. Just get that taken care of all at once. It's a lot cleaner.
All right, and ACM now clearing out Thieves Town. Another heart container found in the brewery. It's interesting to note both Shireen and GTG are kind of following ACM's lead and doing that stealth route, avoiding pod, avoiding even the catfish check. For that hype cave, we know it's at least the right play to make in this instance. Oh, and Neo is pointing out our 5/6 crystals are Desert Palace, and it appears Skull Woods. Skull Woods is clearable. Desert Palace now technically is also clearable, even though Desert Palace, they've already cleared it out. It is that 5/6 crystal, and with both of them being clearable at this point, I mean, Fat Fairy might be our next part of the progressions.
Sure could be. It'll be very interesting to see if anyone else picks up on that, possibly, though.
Well, there's so much of the world that is opened up to us right now. I doubt if anyone's going to make that like their priority play right at the moment. We see ACM going through Thieves Town right here. We do have Skull Woods that is available, and that's 2 items in there. And yeah, there was a Silver's hint on the tile block in Swamp Palace that I saw Shireen check, but I didn't actually get a chance to read it.
Hammer, I think it's a hammer locked location. Oh wait, no, that's boots. I'm reading the wrong one.
Yes, Physio hints. It's a new addition to version 30. All of the Sahasrara tile blocks, where he would tell you something in the original game, are now hints in the game. Not all of them, only most of them. Some of them are going to be just jokes that aren't really worth anything. But some of them can give really valuable information about, what is locked behind certain boots locations or hammer locations and things like that. The SP hint tile was silver arrows is above the pose. The only pose I know about would be, Graveyard Ledge. That's actually really beneficial because that can be a quick check once you get the mirror. The problem is unless you're already in that area, it's not an out-of-the-way check that people necessarily go to. Shireen, I mean, it might make that check, though, with that knowledge. So that would be interesting. And for runners of this caliber in the game, I mean, they may not use them, but people using them is absolutely fine. GTG showing us magic coin freezes everything. We have the Ether Medallion on the pedestal. So, guys. If either Misery Mire, it's only Misery Mire. Turtle Rock is a pendant. But if Misery Mire requires ether. We have a required pedestal seed as well.
That could be fun.
What would be even worse, because chat, let's talk trolley here. If a required item is in Turtle Rock, but ether requires to open Turtle Rock, like, get excited. Get excited here. Meanwhile, ACM does finish off blind. It does appear as though GTG is going to be our first one up into Skull Woods right now. Is able to clear it. Just other runners have avoided it in favor of kind of the more dense locations in Village of Outcasts. And there's a quick death. Oh, right. Yeah, ether can't be required for Turtle Rock because you need to do Turtle Rock to do ether, right?
Right, yes.
Herp to derp.
Did you make that mistake?
Yeah, that was mine.
It's okay. I don't think anybody noticed.
No one noticed at all. So ACM now also coming up here to Skullwoods. Now it's worth noting GTG is up here in Skullwoods, which can dish out quite a bit of damage. All of our other runners found the blue armor upgrade in the Village of Outcasts, so they can deal with the damage output a little bit easier right now than GTG is able to. Shireen showing us another tile. I did not catch that one, though. Oh, GTG doing hammer strats for Mothula. Not easy in any capacity.
Good to see everybody go ahead and make the plays into these Dark World dungeons. We got 2 on the right here in Thieves Town and 2 on the left in Skull Woods.
Well, and that's kind of where this seed has been leading them. We still don't have great weapons right now to really be able to deal with anything.
Oh no.
And GTG. That's grabbed, unfortunately. Those wall masters are, I mean, they were annoying when we were kids, but they just kill a speed run because they just make you do everything over again, unfortunately. Wisdom Teeth in chat says, it's very hard to hit a moth with a hammer. Yes, and my girlfriend yelled at me about it the other day. Because I took a real hammer to a moth. Okay, never mind. And here we go, round 2, GTG versus Mothula. Meanwhile, ACM is right on his tail with more hearts, more armor. right. Oh, gotta stay close. Oh! And it's just a compass. Worth noting, I believe that means there's going to be one more item here in Skullwoods, and it's going to be in that last treasure chest right back in on the inside. Yep, and just a big 20. So, yeah, all 4 runners finishing dungeons right around the same time. It does look like Shireen's heading back up. GTG taking another Death Warp. So where do we go from here? We still haven't gotten that much progression, honestly, in all these places. It feels like we're stuck either making low percent checks up on Death Mountain for the old man, or even worse, Palace of Darkness check, maybe? Where would you go, Neon?
Yeah, like you said, lots of options here. I think we're gonna see ACM go on up to Death Mountain. That's interesting check without the hook shot. You're only gonna have access to the west side of Death Mountain. You don't have the mirror either, so that's gonna be no easy way around unless we've got a vanilla mirror here, or it shows up somewhere on the west side of Death Mountain. Then you've got access to the whole mountain. It turns into a much nicer play.
It's true. And chat stream, Fat Fairy play, because we can't technically clear desert.
Oh, ACML, I'm getting stuck there by the dead rocks. They haven't blocked off, so you couldn't even turn the old man in. And just a big 20, unfortunately, from the old man turned in, so we've got to see if it's inside Spectacle Rock. That's the only place that it can be now.
Yeah. One check in Spectacle Rock, and there's also a tile there we can check.
Oh yeah, that might have a clue. Might say mirrors right down on the mountain. Turn around, dummy. Oh, and of course, just bombs up on top of Spectacle Rock, so nothing of value. And what do we got here is the shovel. Ooh, that could actually be a thing.
Oh man! So it's time to do a fetch quest, everyone.
Yeah, ACM alum's got to go get that one. He can't leave that behind and leave behind the possibility that Shovel Spot could have something of importance.
Question in chat: can't you do Spike Cave? I believe. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, you go to Dark World and immediately fall down. I don't know if it's worth it, but we'll see. See if somebody makes that gamble.
Would be interesting to. I'm sure someone is. Someone somewhere is making the gamble.
Oh, of course. One of our runners is making that gamble. Just maybe not one that we're going to see on the restream. Oh, ACMLM. Come on, my friend. You don't have the Titan Spits. You can't do that yet.
He's like, oh wait, yeah. Wait. Where were Flippers?
They weren't in Death Mountain. They must have been in Skullwoods. They're in Skullwoods, yeah.
Skullwoods. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Thieves Town. Okay.
Harry's got them. Oh, Thieves Town. Yeah. Okay.
I was like, wait a second. I completely missed something here.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't make sense because GTG is doing Thieves Town right now. It's Vanilla Big Key Chest. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Thank you, chat.
Whenever we're confused about something, I'm glad we can always rely on chat, but more importantly, we can also rely on our wonderful trackers.
Indeed.
Sage Figaro.
Right there.
Yeah. Shout out in the meanwhile to Sage Figure and Dimensive for tracking for us. It really helps us out and keep tracking of stuff because with 4 people, it's hard to keep track sometimes. All right. In the meantime, it does look like Harrier finishing up another fight. Shireen also on the same Mothula fight. Mothula is just not playing nice with anyone today. Does get it down. GTG finishing up, going through Thieves Town right now. ACM, where are you going to go, buddy?
I don't know. There's the grumble.
Yeah, I'd be grumbling too. I'm still with a fighter sword after 2 dungeons. What? All right. Shovel spot. What? What? That's supposed to be there.
It is. So we got a vanilla flute.
All right, so I mean that's actually nice-ish. Here's the problem. It's good for travel. That's it right now. We can't do anything else with it. All right, so Shireen and Arior are just following each other's footsteps, I feel like, at this point in time. Just shadowing each other back up on to Death Mountain, where we know there's nothing here. ACM going to be turning in the mushroom. Is going to be disappointed because we did see one of our other runners turn this in earlier, and it was nothing. Don't reset, ACM. Don't reset. DM does have shovel, and it's not nothing anymore, so that is true. Oh, look what ACMLM is doing.
Ooh, interesting.
He is going to be opening Desert Palace. That indicates to me he is committed to going ahead and clearing out Desert Palace, and that really only means that he is going to be committed to that fat fairy on the pyramid. It is kind of deeper in the sphere logic, so I can see how it makes sense for him if you're really trying to stay deep in the logic as opposed to checking other locations that you've had access to for a little while. So I like the play by ACM. It's gutsy. We'll see if it pays off for him.
It is. Very, very gutsy.
Meanwhile, Ariel is checking out the Spike Cave. And it's our 3rd shield.
Well, at least we know where that is, right?
That does put us into an interesting quandary. That means all 3... Well, I mean, I guess Laser Bridge is still in logic anyway, no matter what, so... All right, so ACM is about to start his fight on Landmola. Plenty of weapons associated with it, but most importantly, he's got to turn in that big bomb for the Pyramid Fairy shortly after. What are we hoping to see on the Pyramid Fairy? Are we hoping to see nothing? Are we hoping to see everything?
I think nothing would be more fun just for pure chaos perspective. You're like, you did all this, nothing.
I mean, that'd be funny, and chat would love it.
Our runners
But-
would not.
Our runners would, well, ACM would not, because I don't know if anyone else is going to make that play. Shireen looks to be immediately going over here to Palace of Darkness in the meantime.
Yeah, take some risks sometimes to get that reward, and Pod could be a huge play. It could be amazing. It could be all kinds of great stuff in there, and it could be nothing.
Could be.
Especially
Now,
something- or it could be Green Pendant turn in as well. And who knows if we have required ether on Misery Mire? Oh boy.
that would be amazing. I mean, plus you take into consideration, Pod does have quite a few treasures, so it could have some value in it anyway.
That is true.
All right, so we have our front of Pod check. If it's not a key here, then Pod is bow locked as well, so that might be interesting as well. Okay, past the first part. GTG finds his shovel, will be on his way to get the flute shortly. ACM is going to be taking a most explosive companion on a little field trip. All right, there's the first of the front 6 treasure chests. 4 of them must be keys. So there's one that was not a key. It was just a big 20.
Nothing.
Oh, that doesn't feel good for ACM. Arier is also making the same play as well. So right now, Shireen looks to have a bit of an edge right now. Oh, ACM looks to be on his way up to check Catfish as well. All right, so all eyes on ACM, LM, and Shireen. Arier and GTG are not far behind either one of them. We're going to see where the value is.
Oh, the value.
Ice Rod and a Titan's Mitt. Oh,
So much value all at once.
that's okay. That's interesting. Ice Rod is not a good find because that implies Turtle Rock access at some point in time, which we don't yet have. But ACM, man, that was a low percent play. Not a lot of people are going to make that play. That was a brassy play, and it really paid off for ACM. And he's going immediately to Ice Palace. He wants in here. And a unique item is held somewhere. I clearly need to do a better job of learning to read fast.
Why are you not reading faster?
Oh, a unique item is with the fishes. Okay. Lol. Okay, so that, I mean that's interesting. There's our fourth bottle, by the way. All right, so GTG is also getting baited over here into the desert play. It's interesting. We talked a little bit about maybe no one would bite it, but that 5/6 crystal is really, it baited 3 of our 4 runners. Shireen's the only one who wasn't baited by it. But Shireen then was baited into Palace of Darkness, which had an ice rod, but that's it.
But if it is ether required for Misery Mire, that's an immediate step up. Now, of course, all of our runners will find the magical ice rod if it's pet required, because they're going to have to go into Palace of Darkness, and we'll sure be looking for that. But we're going to be a little bit of ways out at this point before we know that. I don't think ACM has gone ahead and checked out at Misery Mire yet.
ACM has not. He wanted Ice Palace for whatever reason. He tried to go there before he got both mitts.
Maybe it's just a routing thing in his mind where he's like, okay, this is where I'm going to go.
Well, and chat pointed out there's actually a few different of the telepathy tiles in Ice Palace, so more hints does make Ice Palace a little bit more valuable, all things said, even above and beyond the normal value you get from the treasure chest, plus the crystal here. A unique item is held by a grumpy fish. So both hints in Ice Palace up to this point in time have pointed us towards the item that we needed to get into Ice Palace up to this point in time. Gee. Oh, Arier just checked. He was in misery. He was in Mire Shed. Did anyone catch to see what was Mire? Quake. Okay. So it is not Ether Medallion, which means the pedestal is not required. Man, the dream was alive there for a second. Arier, yeah, instead of diving right into Ice Palace like ACM, is putting that mitts to work in the overworld. Gonna do the Jeremiah loop. Just 10 arrows there. GTG is getting debated here shortly. And yeah, these runners are still only have fighter sword right now. We're almost an hour into this. This has not been a very kindly seed to them, has it?
Certainly not. Got ourselves quite the quagmire here. No pun intended, because we still have to go to Misery Mire, but I'm a little sad it's not Ether, not because of the fact that we're not getting pet, but I just like Ether on Mire so much because you get the bird toss and the bird toad.
Oh. Jeremiah. I don't know what the technical term for a mirror smith would be, but our blacksmiths were mirror smiths this time.
Interesting. And ACMLM coming up with the powder there on Gold there, looks like.
At that point, that's a fetch quest that's the only thing of value that he ended up getting, other than, of course, a crystal. Shireen also... Glass blowers, okay. Either way, that mirror, I mean, is kind of significant because, as Area is showing us, that does unlock our access to the east side of Death Mountain, and with those Titan's mitts, will also give us access to Dark Death Mountain as well. That's quite good, actually. And another sword is on the Ether tablet. So as soon as we have ourselves a Master Sword, Area will be able to have himself a Tempered Sword. All right, so Area on his way up. He's climbing Tower of Hera. Meanwhile, ACM is on the right path. He's doing hammer pegs and should be doing Jeremiah shortly.
Indeed. So let's see where we go.
Now, Shireen and ACM completing Ice Palace a little bit, I'm not going to say early because it's kind of right on time, but they went here with the assumption that they would not be able to, that something of value is going to be here to lead them on their next kind of breadcrumb trail. The issue that they're going to run into is that if, in this case, Area or GTG, if they avoid Ice Palace until they can go mode it, that's a good couple minutes that they're going to be saving on them, even though they are putting it off just because of nothing being there. All right, and Area completes the Moldorm fight. Just a map, I get the impression, I think he's got to go back into the basement for the last item. There are 2 items in here. ACM only finding 5 rupees from the Magic Bat Cave, which made Ice Palace even worse, because if someone was there, then at least logically we would have been required to go into Ice Palace.
So it's a very, as you would say, if there was something more there in Ice Palace, it sure would have been logic required, but I'm kind of wondering now where our runners are going to go. Obviously, ACMLM is going to go up to Tower of Hera, looking for that Quake Medallion. Hasn't found it yet.
Nope. Worth noting with the mirror, that does also technically open up Swamp Palace as well. Even though we do not yet have the hook shot so we can clear it, it does kind of put the front part of it and the left side in logic. So if we still have lots of opportunities up here on Death Mountain that Area will be checking here directly. All right, so Ari, you're getting ready to show us kind of the depth and the richness that is the east side of Death Mountain. There's just so many items here. Just more bombs up on the floating ledge. Yep. Tower of Hera was also a bus, no progression. But since you did it on your way, you're not making multiple trips up Death Mountain. It's not. I mean, it's not bad just to knock it out right now. Sword Strife, you only have 10 minutes left. I'm sorry. I feel really bad for you because there's lots of action still going on. Right now, if anyone has an advantage, I would give it to Arior. But this, I mean, the quote-unquote lead has changed so frequently between Arior and Shireen and ACMLM. GTG's been right in there as well. And that's the thing about Randomizer. You can never say someone has a lead until the Ganon's explosions or until you're in go mode. We don't know, and that's the beauty. All right, so, this is a Cave of Love. 2 heart containers right off the bat. And the hook shot. Well, that makes Dark Death Mountain that much more valuable. Instead of just 3 items that we'll be able to get to while on Dark Death Mountain, there's 6. Or 2, up to 6, because we don't have the boots to be able to get that first one. This is absolutely great for Arior. With that, we are now only a Quake Medallion, Quake Medallion, Bow, and Cane of Samaria away from go mode.
Gotta think about this for a moment. We don't have it. We don't have it. It looks like in Tower of Hera, so I'm guessing probably somewhere in East of Mountain. Maybe we'll see it come up here if ACMLM goes and heads out to check that out.
Oh, probably. Arior just found not only the bow, but also the Master Sword in the Hookshot Cave, which means he's going to be able to bop right on over there.
Indeed.
To get his Temper Sword.
Absolutely. So that kind of that answers that question. I was thinking, what's the one place that we really haven't seen yet? And as I'm sitting here thinking and talking, maybe we gotta go over to East of Mountain for a lot of this access. Hey, there's Ares showing up with the Master Sword and the bow in the Hookshot Cave. So certainly proving me right. I'm glad he did that.
Yeah, we have Quake and Cane of Samaria left. It's interesting right now. Luckily, Cane of Samaria absolutely cannot be in Turtle Rock. So right now, if you're trying to avoid Turtle Rock, you're doing good. You got about a 50-50 shot here. So you're actually hoping to find Quake before the Cane of Samaria right now. And Arior is actually going to dive now into Ice Palace, so he will not be go-moding this. That's good news for ACM, who just has to clear out Death Mountain now, but Arior's going to have a much, much, much easier time getting through here with a Tempered Sword versus a Fighter Sword. Kane is in Swamp Palace. Oh, Tower of Hera hint tile. Oh, I missed it. All right, Shireen now on his way up Death Mountain. Will be following ACM kind of in the chain of events right now. GTG in Ice Palace right now, doing it the hard way with Fighter Sword. All right, Shireen gonna be checking this. Yeah, absolutely want to check it. We know what it is. Oh, GTG.
Oh no.
Bow on Tronex, wouldn't that be fun? Except we have the bow. It is in Hookshot Cave. I will say, for where we're at in this seed, it's pretty healthy. You know, Arier has 14 hearts. ACM right behind him and getting ready to get 2 more, so he will also be at 14 hearts. And one of those hearts was even the Sank heart, too. So we are at about an hour and 12 minutes into this seed. All of our runners are doing exceptionally well. We're very, very close to go mode. We know the Kane is going to be in Swamp Palace. Swamp Palace got to be the next play, and you're hoping you find Quake in there as well.
It's very, very important here. I think that, you gotta brainstorm this out a little bit, Fantasia. Where's that Canis Samaria at? It's the one thing that we're really missing to get through Misery Mire at this point.
It is in Swamp Palace.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We have that clue. Derp.
We do have. It's all right. I you know what?
I keep forgetting about the clues. I'm sorry. It's a new thing.
Yeah, clues are new to version.
Oh, we do
30.
need Quake though. That is also worth noting too. So Quake, which is our access to both of the medallion-locked Dark World dungeons, meaning it can't be Internal Rock.
And I think that's what Chad is talking about. If Arier knows that at least one progression item is in Swamp Palace, why are you doing Ice Palace? And part of it might be because he doesn't know where that guaranteed progression is in Swamp Palace, right. So he hopes he can find it once and then just finish go moding it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's early, then you're in really good shape. If it's not, then it doesn't really matter at this point.
It's a calculated risk, I think. It's, which dungeon would you rather go mode? Swamp Palace or Ice Palace? And he's making the calculation that, if he had to choose, go moding-ish Swamp Palace. I am of the opinion that I would absolutely prefer to go mode Ice Palace, and I would have done Swamp Palace myself. But I'm also what what the locals call bad at this game, so don't take my word for it. The best thing right now is knowing that Turtle Rock is also the Quake Medallion, so if you know you're guaranteed to get the Cane of Samaria, and you know Quake can't be in Turtle Rock, which would be the biggest pain at this point in time. And there, first available chest. There is the Cane of Samaria. So, had Arior's play planned out and the Quake Medallion was there, that would have been the ideal spot, because then you could go mode this place from here on out. But you can't really, because you're still looking for that Quake Medallion.
That Quake Medallion, I feel like it's gotta be within Swamp Palace, but it's gonna be somewhere really deep within Swamp Palace just to annoy them.
It's left side, right? It's got to be left side.
Maybe.
All right, so Arior looks like he's following that breadcrumb. They're gonna be trying to go down and check the magic bat, or also the lunchbox over here. There's another item, another there. All right, so magic bat, we know it's not going to be. This will be our first lunchbox check, though. And this will route nicely into Swamp Palace. He'll do this. He'll do a Bombos tablet check, and then go right into Swamp Palace. So more thorough, probably, is probably where he's at. ACM, halfway through Swamp Palace, is skipping left side, of course. Smart check if you only have one more to go, because you do what you have to do first in getting through this back part. And there's the big key. ACM is going to go ahead and finish off Swamp Palace, and then I gotta imagine he's going to dive in to go back and check the big key and the left side. That's 3 locations. Oh my! Shireen coming over here, going to be doing a pedestal check. We already know it's not good. Interesting that Shireen didn't go back and pick up the tempered sword like everyone else has, though. And the uncle did not have our item. So check on Bombos tablet before diving into Swamp Palace. No, so not there. ACM is going to show us whether it's in the big chest, or on maybe he's checking left side. I hope he's checking left side in this. What else could it be? What else have we not done?
Have we seen some of the checks? Have we seen like King's Tomb and stuff like that yet?
No, can't do King's Tomb or Bonkrux because we still do not have
We
the
have
boots.
the boots. That's right. Maybe the. Well, gosh, where are the boots going to show up at? We know we need a hammer for that, right? That was one of the hints.
Yeah.
So.
Which at this point, it's got to be in Turtle Rock, at which point, unless they're in this back half of...
Yeah, if they're in Turtle Rock, then that just means we're not getting them.
No, absolutely. We did find our golden sword as well. Let's see, where else? I mean, Eastern and Pod, keep in mind, I don't think we haven't done the bow-locked portion of Pod yet. That might be it. That would be amazing if it were there. But, alright, left side swamp. Will you be our hero, collectively? Alright, left side swamp. ACLM is... there's the map. No! Bug catching net!
Ouch!
Totally the most valuable thing in the whole game.
Well, ACMLM's gonna go over to the almost tablet now. Have we seen this yet?
Yeah, Arier checked
Okay.
it prior to coming in, so
Yeah,
we know. I think it's just 3 bombs.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Bomb boast. If it was 2 bombs, it'd be bomb dose.
So, okay, from here, I believe... I mean, Palace of Darkness is open to us. The bow-locked portions... I mean, and that would be good for... I think Shireen made the early dive to check Palace of Darkness as well. So Shireen would just have to check the bow-locked portions. Arier and ACM would have to go until they find Quake, if it ends up being there. Plus, it's also the green pendant, so if you clear it out, if it's on the green pendant itself... Like, I just think it's got to be Quake at this point in time, right? Or it's got to be Pod.
I think so.
Any check on Checkerboard Cave? That's a good point. I don't know if we've gotten a Checkerboard Cave check because we did not have the mirror when one of our runners did check it earlier. Oh man, this frame for frame, Shireen and Arier are just kind of in the same spot. And that is where ACMLM is going. He is on his way over to Palace of Darkness. And all right, so ACM, this is going to be his first time opening, so it'll be interesting to see how ACM routes this. If he does do the bow lock portions early and it's there, I mean, he's out, and that's it. If it is the green pendant, though, he'll full clear this, which will allow for some time for Shireen and Arier to catch up.
The stream just froze. I don't comment. I was gonna be like, "Oh, so and so's doing this," and then I realized, wait a minute, nobody's doing anything. But we are seeing GTG go ahead and looks like probably head over to get the East Death Mountain stuff right now. Still missing that bow. I cannot believe we have not found Quake Medallion yet. Unless, and I don't believe we've seen this from anybody, it's the green pendant turn-in. That would just be so mean.
Yeah, it absolutely could be. All right, so what do we have? Key. Big key, okay. Shireen going over to the left side area are already there. They are both going to be somewhat disappointed in what they find. But it being, I mean, at this point in time, this is actually good news for Shireen. Again, remember, Shireen has already made a dip into Palace of Darkness. If Shireen continues to follow the logic that both Arier and ACM have been following up to this point in time, would absolutely put him right there.
Oh, and then of course that checkerboard cave. Good boy.
Yep. And there it is. Absolutely. The Quake Medallion was in the big treasure chest where the big key was indeed locked behind the bow. That puts ACM LM into go mode.
Woo! Oh boy.
I know, right? Like, this seed has not been kind.
Oh, it certainly has not been kind. Are you kidding me? It's been absolutely brutal throughout. But ACMLM finally going to go open up that misery mire. Feeling quite miserable perhaps himself right now, but feel a little bit better. Get into go mode this.
Absolutely. GTG about to find the bow and master sword on his end as well. Feeling pretty good. Arier going to be on that way. Shireen going to be doing the already did the Jeremiah loop, but is going to be checking the lunchbox, doing that kind of loop down south. The lunchbox plus the Bombos medallion, and to knock those out real quick. Chat pointing out, yeah, man, Ganon's Tower, big key on the torch would be horrible at this point, which in most bootless seeds, you are right. Yes. All right, so Arier is actually going through Eastern first, which is interesting. I mean, I think he's going for the Armos item, but I also don't think Arier ever actually checked the pedestal, so
Nope.
he
I don't
might
think
be
he did.
thinking pedestal. Oh, you think he did?
I don't think he did. I don't think he checked that.
This man.
Well, he's gonna find it. If even he's gonna feel kind of silly after this, perhaps. Having done the wrong one of these. But it won't be too bad. There could be something good on Armos, like half magic or you never know, nice utility thing.
Yeah, Rando's gonna rando no matter what. In the meantime, ACM did find the big key. He avoided having to go all the way to the back, so we'll be making just a dive right towards Vitreous. Now, we know where the silvers are from the hints. It should be on Graveyard Ledge. No one has gone there yet.
I get the feeling that nobody is gonna go there. Even though you know where it is, I would do it. I'd take the 2 minutes to go on my way and do that. I know it's a race. I know it's you want to do it as fast as you can, but the silvers are going to save you so much time. You're gonna save more than 2 minutes doing it. Well, maybe not literally 2 minutes. It's probably a little bit longer than that, but I guess for me, maybe because I'm not quite as good as these four, so I kind of.
Yeah, it really depends on how comfortable you are with your silverless strats. I mean, if you had Master Sword, absolutely, because it would just save so much time. But I mean, we're talking most runners have Butter Sword at this point in time.
That's true, yeah. Since they have Tempered Butter, it may not be as big of a deal. I assume they're all very, very comfortable with their strats at this point. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, if it was Master Sword, Silverless Cannon, you go get those bad boys. It's gonna be a long fight otherwise. But Tempered, not really so much. Kind of can do that.
Absolutely. So here's ACM, and he's going to. Looks like he's using the old NMG strats, taking damage from the poison goop, and he frames then attacks. And wow, that was a fast fight.
Absolutely, could have been a little faster with those silvers too, but again, the way the ACM just machine guns those, it's pretty negligible.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and other folks, it is time.
Oh boy.
There are 22 treasure chests in Ganon's Tower that can possibly contain the Ganon's Tower Big Key. 1 through 22, go ahead and get your guesses in chat. I don't think we have the guessing game going right now, so just get your guesses in and you win, internet points from me. Which, is about as valuable as internet points from any other on the internets.
But they're super valuable.
Yeah, there is no official speedrunning one for this one. I get the feeling a lot of people are hoping Torch, because without boots, that would mean it would be really interesting to see what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So Shireen, now on his way to clear out the only parts of Palace of Darkness he has not yet done. Am I even qualified to distribute internet points? Probably not. They might be counterfeit internet points. But, All right, here we go. All right, so all eyes are on ACM-LM. Arier will be also kind of second into in go mode as well. Shireen very close behind.
It's going to be a pretty...
Yes!
Ooh!
It is the dream!
Oh boy.
And, oh, that means we gotta go
You gotta go digging.
somewhere else.
We gotta go digging.
And ACM actually opted to leave. And he said we know the boots are in a hammerlock location.
Boy, we could only hope for something that trolly, and it's delivered. The game gods have delivered. Where are they gonna be? Where are you gonna be, Boots? Best question ever.
All right, there's the big key. Yeah, the reason ACMLM bailed is because we received a clue that the boots are hammer locked. Now, we are under the assumption that nothing in GT is hammer locked other than the fact that GT requires all the crystals that require the hammer. Okay, so chat's pointing out, and this is interesting. This is something I did not know. Turtle Rock isn't hammer locked in inverted mode, so hence exclude the hammer.
Well, today you learned something different.
I mean, and here's the thing: I have not done enough inverted mode myself to know all the logic behind inverted mode. So I am fully at the mercy of everyone else's explanations on this. Left side GT is hammer locked in order to move the blocks, though. So this might come down to just having an understanding of inverted mode, even though we're not in inverted mode. This is an open mode. The hint might actually be pulling ACM LM in the wrong direction because of a misunderstanding of how the hint system works. Which I can imagine saltiness to be had afterwards, but we'll talk about that later. There are the silvers.
Oh, somebody did go get him, it looks like. So that answers my question. But I guess GTG still hasn't gone back into pod. Gonna be checking all these locations for that Quake Medallion.
Just got to go back. Meanwhile, Arier is about to find his bad news as well.
Dean Shireen showing up with another pendant, so
Yeah, ACM is the only one to have found our wonderful discovery yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, and other folks in chat, I do want to point out you are bearing witness to not only an Aghanim required seed, but also a big key on the torch bootsless up to this point seed. So, I mean, there's lots to be really happy about if you're a fan. All right, ACM working his way here through Turtle Rock. Still hasn't found the boots yet. Eric using the Turtle Rock portal at this point in time. Okay, ACM, and no. And not on Laser Bridge. Why does Shireen not have Quake? That's a good question. Does Shireen have Quake? I need to see the pause menu. No, does not have Quake. Maybe taking a gamble that it's not in that big treasure chest? All right, so now Arier also has the knowledge, but will be continuing on into Ganon's tower. Yeah, Shireen might think already checked the big treasure chest, and ACM does not find the boots anywhere in Turtle Rock. Has wasted all this time, and Arier does find the boots.
ooh, oh boy, oh boy, that's just mean for ACM. Oh no. They were in GT all along. I can't believe it.
And all because of, and I absolutely want to ask ACM about this. I have to think it's because of confusion over that hint that the boots are hammer locked and what constitutes what is and isn't boot locked. If Ganon's tower is and isn't, and the knowledge of if the hints have to work in everything, and in this case Ganon's tower or Turtle Rock is not hammer locked in inverted mode. Ooh.
Oh boy.
Either way, right now Arior is on his way up the tower. ACM taking a dip back down, gonna be killing off Helmasaur for the green pendant, which is also hammer locked. Question in chat. I guess we should explain inverted mode. It's a new mode for Legends of Zelda: Link to the Past. It's been tested over the past several months. It is new to version 30. Effectively, you start in the Dark World, and the mirror takes you to the Light World. And until you have the Moon Pearl, the Light World will turn you into a bunny. That's like the bare minimum of it, but it absolutely messes with the logic and what you need for certain areas and this and that. It's a crazy new mode that a lot of people have a lot of fun with, but because there's so many different logic twists associated with it, not everyone has learned it. It's still very, very new. So the fact that the hint system, I need to verify this, if the hint system does indeed require that the hints, whatever hints, can be in both Light World and Dark World in inverted mode, then that would have played into ACMLM. So I want to confirm that. If there are any mods, any of those folks in chat, help me out here, guys.
I'm kind of wondering that myself.
Yeah, because I absolutely think that the presumption right now from ACM's side is that Ganon's tower was not quote unquote hammer locked in terms of what could and could not be in the hints.
Mm-hmm.
So Shireen is back in pod and says, "Oh yeah, I didn't do this." So there is the green pendant. So we will see what Sahasrara has for us. GTG is now entering Misery Mire for the first time. Is in go mode. Arier is going to show us Aghanim. Oh, that was a nice triple there by Arier. ACM is going through Eastern Palace too. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, Arier, very clean Agatu fight. Very, very clean Agatu fight. And is on his way to Mr. Blue Bacon himself. Now, Arier does not have the silver arrows. The hints did say, and GTG did confirm, on the graveyard ledge. But I'm fairly certain Arier's got this.
I think so. I don't think really, unless there's going to be a fall, that's substantial number of falls at this point, with the fact that everybody else is still going into dungeons. That let's just say Aries going to have to really, really, really mess up here. But yeah, I think Aries got this.
What is ACMLM looking for? He is still looking for the boots. The boots were locked on the torch in Ganon's tower.
No, the key was locked on the torch in Ganon's tower, and the boots were on the right side.
Yeah, and he noped out there thinking that the boots can't be in Ganon's tower because he saw a hint that said the boots are hammer locked.
Well, technically, Ganon's tower is hammer locked.
Yeah, I think that too. All right. So in the meantime, Arier, we are having some audio issues. We will keep up with him. However, ACM is on his way to pull the pad. And this he's gonna find the ether medallion. Hey, Arior, are you? I think Arier is in chat right now. And yeah, I mean, other than a frozen stream, it does appear we.
Oh boy. It's always the worst time you want to have it freeze is on the Ganon fight when you're having such a good job. We do have a couple people that have finished. Looks like Mentos Man is going to be first place, the 144.49, and Jaime coming in second with a 144.54. So very close race for the top two spots here.
Absolutely, and it does look like we do have the official time. Arior did finish in 12th place at 150.43. So GG Arior. Some issues with the stream. We'll go back and watch, but GG to Arior. We'll see if we can get you up here to have a chat. And oh hey ACM, are you going now over to this side? And joining us now is Arier, GG friend.
Yo, GG.
GG,
Thanks.
wow, you did quite a good job there, actually, compared to some of our other runners in going and checking the right side of Ganon's Tower.
Oh, yeah. I mean, once I knew that the boots were hammerlocks, I feared that it would be left side GT.
Yeah. We get to see some happy slashes from ACM while I'm here. So happy finally have the boots.
Yeah, those are happy slashes. Absolutely.
Absolutely. They're always happy slashes, Vitasia. That's what the rule is.
You're always happy once you find the boots. The fact that it takes you more than an hour and a half to finally get them is the worst part.
Well, and I'm gonna do you one better. I don't know how long you've been in the race channel, just kind of watching how things. ACM was, I mean, he was a good 4 or 5 minutes ahead of everyone else, at least on the stream, in terms of getting to Ganon's Tower. We're assuming at this point in time that he didn't realize that the left side of Ganon's Tower reads as hammerlocked in the hint, because he immediately, as soon as he saw that Ganon's Tower big key in the torch, noped out and went to do Turtle Rock.
That's painful. I saw him in Turtle Rock once I joined the stream. I was like, oh, that's not good. yeah, the hints in a way are super helpful, and on the other hand, if you misinterpret them, then things can go very wrong.
Yeah, this is one of those streams, but I mean, GG to you. I know, is this your first race, actually?
Yeah, this is my first race. As in
What?
for my first qualifying race, yeah.
Oh, well, hey, starting off with a 12th place finish, that's not bad, really, isn't it?
No, I mean, it's kind of my expectations to be around this range, to be honest. I was not super happy with how I played the seed, or like execution-wise, so I think I could gain a few more places. But yeah, I can't be too unhappy. This is certainly good enough to, if I keep doing stuff like this, it's certainly good enough to finish in top 96, and that's, you know, the eventual goal. Seeding doesn't matter that much, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just you just want to finish in the top 96. After that, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. So just full clear more, have okay execution, and I should be fine. Yeah, the seed was not that great. It took so long before Aga was really clear, and after that all the items just came so slowly, and in awkward locations like Quake Pod, Big Chest, Midsum, Catfish, all that stuff.
Yeah, it seemed to be a little bit of a painful. In addition to being an AGA required seed, having a boots lock GT that was on the left side of Ganon's tower. I mean, I know we had at least someone checking pedestal, and we saw it was Aether Medallion. How nervous were you that it might still be a pedestal required seed when you went down to check what Misery Mire was?
I'm not even sure what I still needed at that point, but I think at some point I only needed Bow, Kane, and Quake, and maybe Hookshot. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is not too bad, because I know I need Bow for 2 of the pendants, and I need Quake and Kane for the other dungeon. So it was okay. I did see at some point that pedestal had a unique item, but I think at that point it was clear that it was not required.
Yeah, we found out pretty early before we even had the Titan Smiths that it was going to be the Aether Medallion. So we were kind of champing at the bit there for a long time. It's like, oh, what's Misery Mire?
Ah, yeah, I can imagine. I think I found the mids relatively early, probably compared to others. I did routing Catfish at some point where I could have done other things.
No, it was an amazing race won by you, and GG on that. We're gonna pay attention here to ACM, who's just getting ready to start his Ganon fight. But do you have any other closing thoughts as we finish up here?
Oh, as always, just thanks for commentating and tracking to everyone, and yeah, I hope to be able to repeat this and hopefully actually be able to have the end of the Ganon fight.
Actually gonna make sure that thing doesn't drop out on you there, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. I mean, I've had more internet issues, but that's the problem with the delay, that it doesn't automatically reconnect once you drop out, because of the 20-minute delay.
Yep. All right, Arier, everyone. If you like what you saw from him, go ahead and give him a follow here on Twitch. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and have a great day, everyone.
And ACM is on phase 3 in Ganon right now. We'll be doing spins for phase 4. Remember, only one of our runners got the silvers, at least on stream. GTG. That might make the difference. That might allow him to catch up with Shireen here. Those two are very, very close.
It'll be very interesting to see, yeah, if we see Shireen able to make this happen.
Yeah, it's going to be very close here. I mean, phase 4 is going to be extra long for Shireen. It's going to be super quick for GTG, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens. They could be just not too far apart here. And with the explosions, that does, I mean, ACMLM does finish officially with a time of 2 hours and 40 seconds in 27th place. GG ACMLM. We'll see if we can't get him in here for an interview.
Yes, indeed. Let's get him in here and talk a little bit about those boots.
And I don't know if he's going to want to talk about those boots, but it's something we got to ask, I feel like. Question in chat, who won? The official race winner in first place at the very beginning was Mentos Man 8 in a first place of 144.49. And ACM is in chat. We're hoping to get him an invite here. Yeah, and ACM, we're concerned about that too, because we were confused right there along with you.
Yeah, we were wondering what happened there, and I guess didn't keep up very well with it. But that's understandable, especially with how new hints are. It can be kind of confusing, even if you have kind of the list in front of you and understand, okay, well, this means here and there, but every once in a while, you're going to get, especially with it being this early on, you're going to get thrown for a loop.
Yeah, ACM, I can absolutely understand that thinking there. Oh, and there's Shireen with the kill, was able to keep up. So GG Shireen crossing the bridge here shortly. And finishes in 37th place. Official time 2 hours, 3 minutes, 37 seconds. GTG is just right on the edge here. I think we're going to wait and see if we can get them both in for an interview at the same time.
Probably would be best. Makes it a little bit less hectic.
Absolutely. Good game, SAGTG, ACMLM, Shireen, and Arier. While we get everyone in here, I do want to give a shout out. Please, guys, follow all these runners if you liked what you saw from them. They're putting on one heck of a show for us. Arier, ACMLM, Shireen, and SAGTG. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And joining us now are both Shireen and SAGTG. How are you both doing after that wonderful seed?
GG, guys.
I was that was definitely a seed. I think that's going to be the score I have that gets dropped.
That was not a fun seed.
I mean, it was fun for us. Can we acknowledge that? It was a great, entertaining show.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure.
Super entertaining.
Well, that's what matters most, right?
I mean, this is one of those seeds that yeah. I mean, not only was it an AGA required seed that no one really figured out until you had everything else going, but there was also the fact that it was that weird Ganon's Tower situation with the key being on the torch and you having to find the boots.
Yeah, I knew the boots were right there, so because I cleared everything else, and it could have been in Turtle Rock. I mean, apparently, according to the hints or whatever, I don't know if the boots had to be there because it was hammer locked, but I was pretty sure it was going to be in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, I was. Once I saw the key, I figured I'll go do all these checks, and then I'll check other places as a last resort. But they showed up right away, so it wasn't a huge deal. But it still felt really rude after having to walk around all that time, especially with how late I found the hook shot.
Yeah, and this is one of those instances that there's been an interesting conversation going on in chat about, because there was the hint that we ended up seeing that said that the boots are hammer locked. What does that imply? Does Turtle Rock imply a hammer locked location or not, depending on the mode and things like that? Because ACM actually was the first one in Ganon's Tower that we saw in Restream, but exited after he saw that, after he saw the key. So there's an interesting discussion going on right now, and I think it's going to be an ongoing conversation in the community about what exactly those hints mean.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's definitely a difficulty in understanding it from the aspect of, obviously Turtle Rock inverted, can be done in multiple ways, and so it may be hammerlocked or not. But I still think, like, I don't know, Ganon's Tower is just one of those things, like, that's clearly hammerlocked. I don't know. Like, I know there's definitely issues with some of the wording and, being universal for all modes. It's very hard to understand the hints, and unless you're reading up on it, it's very hard to understand. And I'm sure a ton of people also who are just casually playing the randomizer, it can be very difficult and very confusing to see stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely got tripped up by a little bit of that myself. I spent a long time thinking about where the boots could be, and I think I made a couple bad calls because of it.
I made a lot of bad calls.
It's alright, it happens.
I mean, it does, and that's all right, because this is only one of 5 races that you guys complete, and if it's your low one, great, go ahead. This one's dropped. I get the feeling that a lot of people, I mean, this one absolutely trolled quite a few people. It will be interesting to see, because a lot of it is based on the last time we did had even a couple forfeits at the same time. So, we'll see kind of what the times end up wrapping up at the end of this here. But otherwise, it was an entertaining seed to watch. I can absolutely see how you might feel frustrated going through it, because it never felt like you were ever making really good progress. Does that sound right?
I feel that way, especially with just Hookshot being kind of in a weird spot with having to save and quit and take the smith to get the mirror to even get to it. That definitely was a pain. Also, I apologize. My cat's trying to talk to me.
Yeah, I felt it was going really well. I think pushing off pod for a while ended up being okay. The game handed me 2 bottles really early, but I used one in Aga Tower just to not to die, and then Mothula was not having it, so I don't know, like, the game was giving us good hints, and I felt after Pod, when I got my mitts, that, you know, I knew Red Cane was mirror locked, and, you know, once I got my mirror, I basically pieced it together that all I needed was Quake, and I can see if, you know, you have those potions going into Pod, whenever it may be, that Hookshot could be your no mode, because you know that the cane is going to be in Swamp and not left side Swamp. I think that's correct, because if you get a hint that says it's in Swamp, it's specifically not left side, because there is a left side hint. So, you know I got my hook at like 117, so I kind of wish I had the potion glitch done, because, you know, I can very easily see from 117, you know, knocking out Swamp, Mire, and Landmo, you know, finishing around what first place did. But yeah, going back into Pod is definitely, and has definitely messed over a lot of people this race. I did it 3 times.
Twice here, Quake was also my go mode item, and I just happened to make the right call, just going ahead and going for the big chest instead of killing Helmosaur. So I did save that little bit of time.
So I thought that Pod had a compass left. So when I went in and I knew that the keys were basically key locked, I'm like, I'm gonna go for Helmosaur, and if Helmosaur drops the compass, I'll go back in. And if Helmosaur gives me an item, then I'm good to write it off and check the green pendant. And when I got the 300 rupees, I left to turn in green pendant, killed Armos, and just went along my way and didn't really think about it. And then when I finished off Spike Cave, that's when I actually got stuck, and I rechecked the medallions and stuff because I thought I was going crazy. But, you know, all in all, I mean, I got 37th. Pretty happy for, you know, an 100-man race. Doing what I did, I felt I played all right.
I mean, hey, it was an amazing race, you know. And if you think about first place in a seed like this being, was it 144? 144 for a first place finish with the quality and caliber of runners that we have in this community, especially who are in this race. Ew.
Yeah, part of that made me think that, you know, it was going to be Helmosaur or Armos, because, you know, I knew there was definitely people who did an earlier Spike Cave, because Spike Cave and Catfish were my last 2 locations when I was looking for mitts. So I was like trying to go through the places that people would get tripped up on, and I was thinking, you know, well, Helmosaur's hammer locked, so that could have boots and lead to something. And Armos is also something that people are going to have to go back for, because assuming they get their lamp to do AGA 1. So, yeah, I really got tripped up on that big chest. That's not the first time I've messed up Pod, and it probably won't be the last.
Well, and in chat, Ozapone makes an interesting point. You still end up with like a 0.8 score for this particular race because the top 3 finishers were so high. I don't think it's going to penalize a ton of people in this race like some of the other seeds possibly could. So, I mean, just one of these races was bound to happen in the qualifiers. GG to everyone who didn't have to do this one. It's okay.
Yeah, when you have, you know, longer seeds like this one, it definitely makes it a little bit easier, you know, if you can make up time on execution and make very thorough routing decisions. Yeah, this seed was very, very linear for the most part. It kind of opened up, but, you know, everyone had to kind of fetch their mitts after getting their gloves, and everyone had to fetch their mirror after getting their mitts, which left the hook shot on Death Mountain, which means, you know, your mirror is your only way of getting there, and, you know.
The catfishing mirror sequence in particular, that was pretty hilarious to be watching, but offensive to experience. After finding the mitts, I decided to go straight to Ice Palace.
Same.
And because of that, I didn't get the mirror for a while. And so when I got the mirror finally, I think that's the moment I realized I'm way far behind. And I think I checked out and probably made some poor plays because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I honestly didn't feel so far behind, because when I got my mitts, I figured, you know, well, people are probably going to have touched Pod already. because you don't have your hook shot to go over to West Dark World, so you're probably going to be going to Hype Cave or Pod first. And if you go to Hype Cave, you're probably not going to touch Catfish because you're going to go straight back into the Dark World. And once I cleared Ice Palace and did get my mirror, I'm like, okay, what's Death Mountain gonna have? If it has, if it just puts us in go mode, then I definitely feel, a little bit behind. But I think I'm sure some people went into Death Mountain and hit no mode when they got their hookshot. Or Master Sword, I think that was in Hookshot Cave.
Indeed, it was. Also, the bow was in there, so you had a lot of items there up on Death
Right.
Mountain.
Yeah, I think that was part of why I felt so behind, is I realized there's a good chance someone who maybe already has Quake knows everything they need to. So that's where I started sinking with Quake being so late for me.
Yeah. Quake, people could have gotten Quake at many points this seed. The game gave us 2 goos early, and there was no need to even buy a potion. So once you're in there, with the way the keys were lined up, it definitely was a lucrative play.
I mean, in the end, it would have been a great play, and I wouldn't be surprised if a few people did that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you kind of take a look at, especially in post race, and you say, "Man, that would have been a really good play." But it's also one of those things you don't really know is possible until you go ahead and actually complete it.
With that, we're going to try to get things wrapped up here. Do we have any other comments about the seed or the qualifiers in general, or anything else from you guys?
If it's okay, I'd just like to give a shout out and brief to the SAA ALTTP Randomizer crew. You're all great.
General thank you to everyone who helps with these tournaments and just partakes in being part of an awesome community. So that's it.
Indeed. Thank you guys for letting us stream your fun adventures here in the land of Hyrule with all of its mixed up madness. Of course, we always want to say to follow those runners. Follow them, but not like literally follow them in real life. Just follow them on Twitch here, okay? But
I mean, you can follow me in real life if you want, but I'm going to the grocery store after this, so it won't be very exciting.
I've already been there. It's a nice place. But also make sure to follow our trackers, Dimensive and Sage Figaro. And as well, I want to say a special shout out to Vitasia for doing a wonderful job on commentary again.
Oh, and to you as well, Neon Tiger. It's always a pleasure to work with you. Keep
Absolutely.
in mind, there are other. The next qualifier race will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So if you haven't signed up yet, make sure to sign up. Don't want any last minute entrants to not know that you have to sign up ahead of time. So tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, it'll be streamed somewhere, I hope. Just stay tuned for that. I believe this is kind of the last thing on the Speed Gaming network of channels for the evening until something much later. Yeah, 10 o'clock tonight, there is a Zelda 1 randomizer weekly race, and that'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern tonight on one of the Speed Gaming network of channels. We don't know which one yet, so just stay tuned for that.
Indeed. And so I think with that, we can go ahead and bring this about to an end. I'm the Odd Tiger. Always good night, good luck, good RNG. And remember, someone out there loves you, and we love you too.